Hello everyone, welcome you all for the next lecture of the course Selenium with Java. Okay, today we are starting the new module, module 5. Module name is Selenium TestNG Framework. Okay, this is the last module of the course. Okay, in the fifth module, we learn TestNG Framework. In the last module, module number 4, we have learned about the framework. What is framework? Framework is a set of structure, a set of rules. Okay. Without framework, your code and data will be at one place only, and that will be like a hodgepodge. That will be like a complex. That is not easily understandable, readable. It's not reusable. So framework will separate the data with the code. Okay. So framework increase the quality of the code. Framework defines the quality of the code. So without framework, it's not so good. So if you use framework, the code usability increases. It's become simple. Code length becomes reduced. Code length reduces, and readability increases. Means it's more readable, more understandable format. So that was the framework. In framework, we have learned DTF, data-driven framework, KDF, keyword-driven framework, and behavior-driven framework. Then we have learned the hybrid-driven framework, and then the testing. If you remember DTF, data-driven framework, the framework driven by the data. We have learned previously DTF, if framework driven by the data. Okay. If framework is driven by the keyword, it's called KDF. If it is a combination of D and K, that is called HDF. If behavior is, framework is driven by behavior, then it is called BDF, behavior driven framework. Okay. DDF, data driven framework, TF, keyword driven framework, HDF, hybrid driven framework, BDF, behavior driven framework. Now, TestNG is testing next generation. TestNG is testing next generation. Okay. So this is the last framework. Now we'll learn in detail Selenium TestNG Framework. So let's come to the point. Outlines means we will learn what is TestNG, means introduction, definition, what is TestNG, then advantage of TestNG, now how to use TestNG in your Eclipse. That is TestNG installation. Okay. So TestNG is a combination of test and ng. Test means testing something, ng means next generation. Test means testing something, ng means next generation. So testing next generation is TestNG. Okay, testing next generation is your TestNG in short. So what is it? It's a testing framework, automation testing framework. It is created by Citrix viewers. It's created by Citrix viewers. Its role is, it's used for unit testing. If you remember, what do you mean by unit testing? In testing, there is unit testing, then integration testing, then system testing, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. Testing is divided in these 4 levels. Unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and this your acceptance testing. Means whatever you have to test this whole system. The whole system is divided in some small blocks. Small blocks. These small blocks are called units. These small blocks called units. Combination of these units. Suppose this is this, and we are doing testing between these 2 blocks. Then it is called integration. Then this combination of the whole this blocks, then this becomes a system. When this whole testing done, then it comes to acceptance. Okay, acceptance testing is the last level of testing. When whole testing is done, then it's time to deploy in the market whether user or client will accept this or not. That's called acceptance testing. You getting it? Means this first is the hierarchy. First is the smaller level of testing. This means we have to test the small part of the code. small part of the code. Okay, because to test the whole code is very difficult. To test the whole code is very difficult. So we'll check small part of the code. Then we'll check this combination of these codes. Then we'll check the whole system. Then after this checking whole system, then it's time to launch in the market. Means junior tester will send this whole system to the junior test this, and it send this to the senior tester send it to the developer for the approval. Then it's launched in the market. Okay, that's a part of testing in theory, but here you understand the main part of testing is unit testing. Acceptance testing is the last level. Before that, system level. At system level, its integration is testing between different two blocks, between different units. But the main portion is your unit testing. If a small part error is there, there's a whole system. System is divided in such smaller parts. If there is issue in one smaller part, that will corrupt the whole code. If there is any issue in one smaller part, then this will correct the whole code. So testing at a smaller level, that is called unit level, is very difficult. It's a very big task. That is done by mostly developers. Okay, so that is called unit testing. Means testing is smaller units of our application. That is an important testing that is done by this test engine. Okay. Now, before test engine, what was that for the testing units? That was JUnit, J for Java. JUnit was a software used for testing Java development, developer codes. Okay. Means the language was Java. And unit means .NET, the program written in the .NET. Okay. JUnit for Java developers, and unit for .NET developer. The JUnit and unit were doing this task, which now is done by the test engine. So test engine is the extension of this JUnit and unit. It means test engine will have the features of this JUnit and unit along with some advancement, some additional features. Because when test engine was not there, then the purpose was done by the JUnit and unit. They were completing that role. Test engine contains all the features of JUnit with additional features. Along with this, the features present and some advanced features, some additional features. Now, so test engine, now you understand the role of test engine is for unit testing. Okay. Now, if we not use test engine, what is the issue? Or if we use test engine, what are the advantages? Okay. So test engine is simple. It generates information in detailed format. Information detailed format. Suppose you are testing some software. So then simply you will say if it's working, then you will say yes, software is working, pass. If software is not working, you will say simply it's fail. Pass, fail. That is simple result. But if you want the result in detailed format, suppose I am running 50 test cases, I want detailed information how many test cases passes. Suppose in 50, 28 test cases passes. So that means what about the 12 test cases or 12 test cases fail? No, some test cases skip means the software doesn't execute those test cases. It's left. Those are called skip test cases. So how much test cases are skipped, how much failed, how much passed. Such type of information is called detailed information. So test engine main important feature. The main important feature or main advantage of test engine is that it provides information in detailed format. Provides information in detailed format. Okay. Now, grouping feature. After converting in .xml file, where we can exclude test case as per priority. See what happened. Suppose I'm executing 50 test cases at a time. Okay. Grouping means 10 test cases for module 1 course, module wise, 10 cases for module 2, 20 test cases for module 3, 5 test cases for module 4, and 5 test cases for module 6. Suppose like this distribution is there. 10 for M1, 10 for M2, 20 for M3, 4, 5. And at a time we can execute all test cases. That's called grouping. That's called grouping. Now for getting information, we have to convert this file into .xml file. How to convert, I'll explain you with the programs when we will do it in Eclipse. Okay. But for getting the reports, we have to convert the files in .xml file. Okay. So in that file, we can exclude some test cases or we can include some test cases. That there will be a command, they will tag include, exclude. Okay. So I just want to execute these 5 test cases first according to priority. So I'll include this. I don't want this. I don't want to execute these test cases. It has a low priority. So I will exclude it. I will include it. I will exclude it. So grouping means I can execute the whole test cases parallelly of different groups. I can execute the whole test cases parallelly while it's in different groups. It's called grouping. And in grouping, what we can do prioritization. According to priority, I can execute these test cases first, these in last. Okay? So prioritization is very important features that we can do. Suppose I'm 10 test cases I'm executing for the Internet Explorer, 20 I'm executing for the Chrome browser, 30 I'm doing for the Mozilla, and this is for Firefox. At a time, I'm executing this parallel execution. I'm doing execution at Internet Explorer also, Chrome also, Mozilla also, Firefox also. Or I can input exclude in the .xml file. I can exclude Mozilla, I can include Firefox, include Chrome. This is called grouping and prioritization. It is called grouping and prioritization. Grouping means you can parallel execute everything. That is grouping. Include, exclude according to priority. So prioritization is done in TestNG, and we will do one program of prioritization also. Don't worry about it. Okay. TestNG use some annotations. And those annotations are very easy and understandable format. Okay, means you can easily understand what is the meaning of annotation. For example, annotation is at the before method. So you understood that this will be executed before executing any methods. So it's a self-understandable annotation. Okay. So we can execute multiple test cases on multiple browsers. That's for parallel testing. The simple advantage, there is no need for a static main method in our test. Before this TestNG, what we have to do, we have to include the main method. If you remember, for whole the programming. Okay. While writing any script, we have to create the object of any classes in the main methods for accessing those methods. Okay. So main method was compulsory, but in TestNG, there is no need for a static main method in our test. Okay. Now next advantage is your TestNG can work as a data provider. You know data-driven framework. In data-driven framework, data was stored in Excel file. The script was in different file. That data that was stored in Excel file, that data can be provided in TestNG. So TestNG can work as a data provider. We will do one program of data provider. Okay. Don't worry. We will do one practical of TestNG as a data provider. Okay. Next, dependent test cases easily defined. Dependent test cases can be easily defined. Suppose there are test cases of 1 to 1 to 50 test cases, but case number 48 having low priority, but that is test case 50 is the highest priority, but that depending on this test case lowest priority. Just I want to say, suppose these are the test cases 1, 2, 3, 10. Okay, this test case 2 has lowest priority. Okay, but test case 10 has the highest priority, but it depends on test case number 2. Understood? There are 10 test cases. Test case number 2 is having lowest priority, means it's lowest priority. Okay, and test case 10 has the highest priority. Okay, but see, I guess then TestNG lowest priority will be executed first and highest priority will execute at last. That is the opposite concept. Okay, so don't be confused. Many times I can, due to slip of tongue, I can say that lowest priority execute first or highest no. Lowest priority executed first and highest execute last. This opposite concept. Okay, it is not like what happened normally, highest priority first, no. there is a when test engine, whatever designed by the person, they have designed the phenomena like that. Okay. So this is lowest priority means this is will execute first, and this is highest priority, it will execute last. But this two lowest priority dependent on this get test case number 10. Means if test case 10 will not execute, then 2 will not work. If test case 10 will not work, then 2 will not work. So due to dependency, this 10 will execute first, whether it's having highest priority. Still it will execute first. Okay. Please remember priority number 0, 1, 2, 3. In test NG, lowest priority executed first, highest last. So according to this highest priority, it should execute in last, but due to dependency, it will execute first. So this is called prioritization. That is also done in test NG. Easy parameterization and priorities can be easy set for easy execution. Okay. Now, that was a theory. What is a test NG? What are the advantages of test NG? How to use this test NG? Okay. So now how to use test NG? That is how to install test NG. Before that, the framework DDF, just we have to deal with the Excel file. So we have to import the Excel file. For KDF also, that was dealing with the keywords stored in the Excel file. So we have to import the Excel file. Import the Excel file for row, column, XSF, row, XSF, cell, everything we have to import only. There was no need to install anything new. Okay? Just we have to import the files. In DDF, in KTF and HDF was a combination. But in TestNG, we have to install the TestNG software. Okay. First, launch Eclipse IDE. In Eclipse IDE, click on Help menu and check the Eclipse Marketplace. In Eclipse window, click on Help menu. In Help menu, go to Eclipse Marketplace and then type TestNG for search. If TestNG is there, it will show already installed, otherwise install from that page. So, if you click on Help menu, you have to select the Eclipse Marketplace. Go to your Help menu in Eclipse, select Eclipse Marketplace. Okay. You will get this window, TestNG for Eclipse. Here, I'm already having installed, that's why this install icon is there. Otherwise, there will be link install to click. If you don't have TestNG, then you will click on install. If you have already installed TestNG, it will show install. Okay. Next, this is for install. If you don't have, then there will be option for install. Just click on install. After installation, just click on confirm and click on finish. Let me show you in the Eclipse. I'm coming out the as PPT mode. This is your Eclipse. Okay. Now, go to Help menu. In Help menu, Eclipse Marketplace. Okay. See, the window is there. Eclipse Marketplace. And find, it's taking some time, some seconds. Okay. Now type TestNG over here for search. See, TestNG for Eclipse installed because I'm already installed at my software. If it is not installed, then you have to click on install. So in this way, today we have learned the TestNG introductions. Okay. Now in next lecture, we will learn the TestNG annotations. Okay. So till that time, keep learning, keep sharing. God bless you. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.